Good evening and welcome to the second edition of UBC News tonight. Michael Jordan Lukomwa. We'll start with a look at the top stories. President Yoweri Museveni tipped LUWERO on non-performing leaders' effective government programs. Machines that print the East African electronic passports upgraded to expand production capacity. Police cautioned school proprietors on vigilance and protection of children. While France launches an €100,000 solidarity fund to promote Ugandan projects. Thank you so much for joining in. It's UBC News Tonight. President Yoweri Museveni has dispelled claims by saboteurs that the NRA war government forgot LUWERO and tipped that electing non-performing leaders affects government programs. He was closing the Light Up LUWERO for Jesus Mission ceremony over the weekend.
The 4-day LUWERO Triangle Crusade was organized by Pastor Patience Rwabogo Museveni of the Covenant Nations Church Luzira. The president was accompanied by the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni. Speaking before the congregation at the closing ceremony of Light LUWERO for Jesus Mission over the weekend, President Museveni denied claims by saboteurs that government forgot LUWERO after the war, but instead blamed them for electing non-performing leaders who fight government programs.
Omukwenenya namwe mwenenye kubanga mbadi mulonda abakulembeze bano abalina.
On behalf of government, President Museveni asked to be pardoned by God and the residents of LUWERO Triangle and move forward together in developing the region.
Naye nange omusango ngukiriza kulwaki kubanga yenze alonda RDC oyo wange naye ba RDC bange bonna banfukide byoya byanswa. Kubanga waliwo balina obuyinza bungi ate bandibadde balaba ebizibu bino n'olwekyo abo bange ogwo bwange musango.
President Museveni, in his speech, was emphatic to the congregation that the war started from LUWERO Triangle, where people received and embraced the liberation. Speaking about the menace of environmental degradation, Museveni warned residents against occupying wetlands and directed the resident district commissioners, RDCs, chief administrative officers, COWs, and other leaders to follow up and preserve the environment.
Okusitula omutindo gw'obulunzi n'obulimi tunakikola tutya awatali okufukirira amazzi. Tulina okubayigiriza okufukirira amazzi, naye tetuyinza kufukirira amazzi entobazi bwe mba muzikaziza balimimu omuceere baveemu abantu abo abayingidde mu ntobazi kubanga amazzi tugeetaaga.
After the prayers, President Museveni and the First Lady, followed by their daughter Pastor Patience Rwabogo and religious leaders, signed the declaration for LUWERO Triangle as a symbol representing an agreement between the people of LUWERO and the government starting a new chapter in the presence of God.
And we talked about the redemptive purpose of LUWERO and how special you are in God's plan and in God's sight, and how you are a pillar in the nation, and how you are the womb of the nation. We have handed over LUWERO to Jesus. Amen.
Amina.
Can we say LUWERO for Jesus?
Tugamba nti ye LUWERO ya Mukama.
The First Lady, Janet Museveni, said she was overjoyed to be at the crusade on the theme Light Up LUWERO for Jesus.
A spiritual problem really crippled the work that could have been done here in LUWERO, a spiritual problem. That is why I'm very thankful to God, because He always has His appointed time.
First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports Janet Kataha Museveni has hailed the royal government of Sweden for the unconditional and generous support towards the advancement of research and innovations in Ugandan institutions of higher learning. She was represented by State Minister for Primary Education Dr. Joyce Muriku Kaduchu at the commemoration of the 20 years of Swedish collaboration with Makerere University to date. To date, 4 consecutive research agreement periods have been supported to a tune of $116 million.
Initially started with Makerere University and a few Swedish universities, the collaboration has grown over the years to include more than 17 Swedish universities and 4 other public universities in Uganda, including Kyambogo, Busitema, Gulu University, and Mbarara University of Science and Technology. The 2 decades of Swedish support to Makerere University have improved research culture, and through research projects conducted, the government of Uganda has been able to formulate well-formed policies that will lead to a suitable development. According to the Director of Research and Graduate Training, Makerere University, Professor Mukadasi Buyinza, the collaboration has impacted the university.
The institutional advancement support that has gone to the library and the research supporting elements like quality assurance, Directorate of Research and Graduate Training, gender, and also ICT. So much of the budget support has gone to these areas, and we are seeing results.
On behalf of Swedish Embassy, Ola Harry Green noted the research and innovation inputs, relationships with the capacity to outlive the duration of the program have been built between Swedish and Uganda researchers and institutes.
So it has developed into a partnership on equal footing, and we also see that from as was the intention from the very start, Makerere, already then a good university, has really become a research-led university.
263 masters, over 400 PhDs, and 85 postdoctoral staff have trained from the 5 public universities, in addition to 98 small research grants awarded. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, said the Royal Government of Sweden's support has led to achievements in capacity development and research outputs at Makerere University.
We cannot thank the people and the government of Sweden enough for this enormous support. Makerere University is now a very strong university as far as research is concerned. We have some of the best trained academic staff now on the continent. We now do research at the highest levels, international levels, with the top universities elsewhere in the world. And this would not have been possible without this support.
Joseph Bule, UBC in Munyonyo.
Ministry of Internal Affairs will in the coming 3 weeks resume printing of new East African electronic passports. This time they will allow for the completion of the ongoing machine upgrade to ensure efficiency.
The Internal Affairs Ministry machines that print East African electronic passports are being upgraded to expand the capacity of production. The ministry is also setting up new passport processing centers in Jinja and Arua, which will benefit from the current phase of upgrading.
We have gone as far as opening passport centers outside the country. We have opened one in Washington, we have opened in London, and we are opening in Abu Dhabi. Our team is already on the ground. We shall be joining them, I think, tomorrow.
Key to note is that the production of new passports has reduced by 60%, though issuance of ready ones is ongoing.
The reason for scaling down production is not as a result of passport shortage, not at all. We passed a message around that people should come and pick their passports. Of course, some of them responded to picking the passport, but we still have so many. We still have about 13,000 now. The other time I talked to you, I had about 10,000.
The current upgrade is projected to last 3 weeks for normal production to continue. The new East African electronic passport contains an automatic finger-integrated system to counter duplication, which justifies physical presence while upgrading from the old passport.
As compared to what we had previously.
The exercise of phasing out old passports to the East African electronic passport is due to the East African Community Summit resolution. As of now, old passports are valid during return to Uganda, but void for those traveling abroad.
We have communicated to all our stakeholders, ICAO, and all these airports. They are aware about this, and they are allowing these Ugandans to return. But
Ivan Kahwa and Owori Ian, UBC.
Police has tipped school proprietors on vigilance and protection of children. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media that teachers are responsible for the increasing cases of defilement in schools.
Uganda police detaining a male teacher of Ambrosel International School Bugorobi over aggravated defilement of a 3-year baby.
Belly Chirimwimana, who is a teacher of Burundian origin, during the months of February and March, would escort one of the girl childs in his classroom to the toilets, and while at the toilets he would get to use his fingers to inappropriately assault sexually this 3.5-year-old girl victim.
School proprietors advised to tighten security for the safety of juveniles at school.
School administrators enforce rules, training, and provide reminders about high-risk situations, especially where a child or a pupil is left alone with a teacher or other staff in a private room, in a car, like escorting them in a toilet.
Police also recommends a background check before employing teachers.
Ensure that teachers with poor records or with previous criminal record are not hired. We keep on getting complaints of child abuse in school, especially in the use of inappropriate language.
There is escalating children homicide, which is attracted by domestic violence. Last week, police registered 3 child murder cases and suspects are still on the run.
For instance, in Wakiso, the police is investigating the alleged torture and murder of Seruviri Train, a 4-year-old male juvenile, by the stepmother called Asimwe Honest, residents of Nachiramasel, Chengra Town Council.
In another development, Uganda police has warned media houses against marketing labor export companies before confirming their authenticity.
News outlets or media houses need to do due diligence. It is not always about money, because most of these victims, when they see an advert on the TV, they will think the company is legit, yet this person is going to take their money.
In last week's traffic report, 348 accidents were registered, of which 64 were fatal, 168 serious, and 114 minor. A total of 398 victims involved, claiming 103 lives and 295 sustained injuries.
Those operating along long routes, if you drive long journeys, avoid making return journeys of the same. Border riders are reminded to be careful when transporting children back to school to avoid accidents on the roads.
Abdul Nasser Lubwama and Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
Schools reopening for the second term in Uganda have witnessed mixed fortunes, with some schools registering high numbers while others were dismal. At others, like Homies Dalen School in Gaza, the school clarified on rumors they say aimed at derailing their image.
Homes Dalen School in Gaza has dispelled all social media reports that claimed the school increased school fees for this second term.
As we are coming to the end of term 1, management sat and resolved. Like fees was not increased, but because of various requests from parents at the side of requirements that they used to bring in kind, we computed all those requirements and gave them a separate bank slip. And the school will now be providing those scholastic or academic requirements to the children.
The school hierarchy labels the architect of such a plot not only an enemy to the school, but also education in the country that needs proper collaboration with parents amidst these troubled economic times. The school has in fact opened for this second term that they plan to use effectively to ensure Ugandan children get quality education.
This term, we have managed to engage teachers in various sessions to bridge that gap of the previous content and the current classes content. And we hope we shall move on well.
At Immaculate Hearts Girls Secondary School in Rukunjiri, the school head teacher, Sister Gladys Kachope, is impressed by the number of students that reported.
So our students reported in phases. We had those who reported on Saturday. Then others are reporting today, 9th of May 2022. The main reason is that we don't want a lot of congestion on the very day of reporting. Now, when you look at the turn-up of the students, the turn-up is very good. I would like to thank the parents. In my heart of hearts, I was a little bit scared because I knew most of the prices are really high.
The head teacher at Ntungamo High School in Ntungamo Municipality, Wilson Biamokama, attributed low turn-up on a number of issues.
At the moment, the turn-up is not as it used to be, and we suspect it could be a result of financial constraints. You know, these days, definitely parents are constrained financially.
At St. Charles Seminary Rukunjiri, the turn-up was not as expected, but the rector, Father Tumobaze Gilvas, remains optimistic.
It may not affect our... we are not scared of these prices, but for us, of course, running costs may be difficult for us. But our school fees are fair.
Esteem Junior School in Bulaga Wakiso District also reopened with some good news.
Daycare bebana abatanabera ready kusoma mu class abana okuvira ddala ku myezi 6 mpaka ku myaka 2 n'emyezi nga 10 twabategekedde buli kye beetaaga. So tukubiriza abazadde abalina abaana mufujja balekera abakozi ewaka babaleete ku ssomero.
The Commissioner, Private Schools and Institutions Minister of Education and Sports, George Mutekanga, has assured teachers that government has finalized the release of the 200,000 shillings for every private teacher across the country to be this week on Monday, as COVID-19 relief funding, urging teachers to change their mindset of creating various income-generating activities than relying only on salary.
Mutekanga made the revelation on Sunday while closing a 5-day training of secondary school teachers on revised lower secondary schools curriculum held at Duhaga Secondary School in Western Division, Hoima City. He assured private teachers that the long overdue COVID-19 relief fund of 200,000 shillings to every registered teacher with valid national ID and teaching in a registered school will be channeled to mobile accounts effective Monday 9th May 2022.
Managed to get some money. We have got 30 billion shillings for teachers. Actually, that's our biggest concern today. The 30 billion is meant for the teachers in Uganda who are, one, registered with the ministry.
Mutekanga advised teachers, both in government and private schools, to change their mindset and create different avenues of generating income than relying on only salaries from schools.
Salary alone is not enough. So teachers should appreciate the fact that we shall never have enough money. But the issue now is how do you use the little money that you get to supplement and improve, not only by yourself but also your family. Not only your family but even your neighbors.
A cross-section of teachers from government and private who attended the training workshop thanked the National Curriculum Development Centre NCDC and Ministry of Education and Sports for organising such workshop, which has enabled them to acquire practical skills as well as lessons from the workshop facilitators. Agut Catherine, a teacher at Buyanja SS in Kagadi, says many lessons on assessment have been acquired, which will help to change learners' attitudes and skills.
On how to assess our learners, I would really say that if it wasn't for this workshop, we wouldn't have actually realized even how to assess the children, especially on projects. We knew that projects were there, but we did not know how to give them the project and how to come up with them, then even how to assess the project. Scoring them was also another problem.
Industries that are in Kenya vis-a-vis the industries that are in Uganda. You find a group of young children, they are selling crafts.
Tanzanian President Her Excellency Samia Suluhu will be in Uganda for a state visit. Experts have welcomed the visit and personal interaction among presidents at the regional and continental levels as a positive gesture towards building a common business platform.
Tuesday, 10th May 2022, the Tanzanian head of state, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu, will be jetting into the country for a 2-day state visit. The visit, according to the protocol, will be focusing on, among other items, drawing the way forward for the oil sector, which has seen the two countries, through various agreements, committed to work together.
It means that the relationship between Uganda, Tanzania, and even other East African states is being strengthened, because the Africans say that the whole which leads the relationship is the foot. The foot, in other words, you go and visit others, and that is the whole which visits the relationship. They were not wrong. Let's not ignore that.
The Director of Studies at Uganda National Defence College, Professor Mulindo Rutanga, notes that the frequent visits of Samia Suluhu symbolizes that the will for operating towards a common goal is given room.
Lieutenant General Muhoozi going to Rwanda, and this was returned by the visit of His Excellency President Kagame to Uganda recently, on Muhoozi's birthday, Lieutenant General Muhoozi's birthday, and so on and so forth. So that is very important. It shows that there is a great relationship which is being cultivated in the region, and that's what we need. You have seen DRC also coming in, and you have seen the President Tshisekedi also coming to Uganda, and our people have also been going there. So that's what it means to build a region.
In her 2 days state visit to Uganda, His Excellency Samia Suluhu will visit and interact with a section of members of the business community.
There must be a way of strategic thinking, what one would call strategic security. And this is not just military, but we are talking of the economic security. How do you enhance, for example, your industrialization and then harmonize the markets? If we are talking of one state, then we should be thinking also of regional, or planning of industries in the whole region. So it will not be just about market and so on and so forth.
On several occasions, Ugandans have questioned why President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has in turn championed key developmental projects in Tanzania. However, Professor Rutanga offers answers to these critics.
We have deep relationships which matter more. And so when we see, for example, the president building two schools, and then there's an uproar here, they forget that he was in Tanzania for 15 years, not him alone, but also other Ugandans, since Amin overthrew Obote's government on 25th January 1971. Many people took refuge in Tanzania, and the whole thing ended when the NRM captured power on 26th January 1986. We can't ignore that.
According to Mulindo Rutanga, a Pan-Africanist and expert in regional integration, developing East Africa and Africa at large is still a nightmare if physical borders are still cherished by many. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The General Court Martial in Machinde has started hearing a case where 32 National Unity Platform supporters are charged with unlawful possession of fire munitions. Prosecution in this matter presented one witness, one Corporal Alex Tiaba, who was the arresting officer of the accused persons.
The 32 National Unity Platform supporters have appeared at the General Court Martial in Machinde to proceed with the hearing of the case against them. The accused persons include Kawaya Muhaidin, Seguja Rashid, Maiga Ronald, Lutaya Olivia, Seshtoleko Yasin, among others. Prosecution, led by Lieutenant Colonel Rafael Mugisha, prayed for the accused Kakoza Muhaidin to be excluded out of the proceedings due to the numerous attempts of contempt of court.
For this court, the accused person busted court by singing and shouting during the course of the proceedings. So he has consistently conducted himself in a manner that cannot allow proceed with his trial in his presence. We invoke Article 28, Clause 5 of the 1995 Constitution.
We pray that this person is given one last chance and is to attend. Because but have you talked to him? Yes, we did. About the conduct? Yes. And most importantly, given the gravity of the charges that he's facing, it's very important that his personal attendance.
Since the hearing proceedings was held in camera, prosecution produced one witness.
This was the arresting officer. We were able to punch a number of holes in his evidence. We know that the case was restricted to access by the public. He said that they recovered some explosives, and despite him saying he knows the house and the owner of the house from whom the explosives were recovered, he couldn't point him out.
In the last court sitting, 10 of the 32 accused NUP suspects applied for bail. However, the 22 accused's bail application didn't proceed today.
And we requested court that on the time of the next hearing, the bail application should be entertained first, which court agreed with. So we shall return on the 23rd for hearing of the bail application for the rest of the applicants and further hearing of the prosecution case.
Chairman Lieutenant General Andrew Guti adjourned the matter to the 23rd of May 2022 for further hearing of the case and bail application. Nanton Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
State House Anti-Corruption Unit has arrested 3 district local government officials from Wakiso for failure to execute and deliver government programs. State Minister for Economic Monitoring Peter Ogwang and counterpart for General Duties Kasule Lumumba were in Wakiso today.
As the fourth quarter of the financial year 2020-2021 ends, different companies, organizations and government entities are assessing programs assigned and budgets. The State Minister for Economic Monitoring, Office of the President Peter Ogwang, and the Minister General Duties under the Office of the Prime Minister Kasule Lumumba have started monitoring visits to assess performance and evaluate different programs by government in Wakiso District. At a meeting attended by Wakiso District local government leaders, who included the RDC, started with engagements with the LC5 chairperson, town clerks, MPs, among others. The leaders started with issues they face as a district.
And the budget has been decreasing. We have roads from Manila managed by UNRWA.
It comes to commissioning, launching, and groundbreaking.
However, pressure mounted among leaders as they were tasked to explain the poor performance in accomplishing government programs.
In Matuga, you have a center there. Just for formality, you are just paying those workers for nothing. You go to Migadi, people are just bringing from this, where the cows go.
Even here at the district, we sometimes take 2 weeks without having water.
You are talking on behalf of a full district system. You have the clerks, these municipality clerks, also with the structures that go up to down.
Minister Peter Ogwang says his visit was to monitor value for money allocated to run government programs.
because as we all know, Wakiso is big. Being big, people take advantage of it. Within the district, of course, I have found a lot of issues are a bit wanting, beginning with the main government programs. But now we need to help local government specifically by automating the local revenue sources.
The Minister for General Duties, Kasule Lumumba, reminded leaders to consider service delivery.
Article 108 mandates the office of the Prime Minister, headed by the Prime Minister, to be the leader of government business in Parliament, but also be responsible for coordination, implementation of policies across all ministries. Politics aside, and look at service delivery.
The head State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Brigadier Henry Rusoke, threatened arrest for those who abuse office.
Emphasize that we are at war in fighting corruption.
Meanwhile, 3 officials, the Town Clerk Akajans Harriet Nachaze, District Community Development Officer Akajans John Chejusa, and the Water Engineer Wakiso District Isaac Galabuzi, were arrested by State House Anti-Corruption Unit. Ivan Juko, UBC News.
3 soldiers were arrested for alleged operational misconduct. It's reported that one Longole Paul, a resident of Puloni sub-county in Napak district, was arrested on account that he was in possession of an illegal gun, tortured, killed and buried LDUs of Kamutulunyo, Amedi Touch in Napak district. According to the 3rd Division spokesperson Major Isaac Owari, joint investigations are ongoing and UPDF does not condone torture and unlawful arrests.
And this is where the place was buried.
On Friday last week, it is alleged that Longole Paul and 3 others were picked from their homes by LDUs on suspicion that they had an illegal gun.
In the room, after capturing them, they took them inside to their detach. From their detach, they were beaten. All of them were beaten and they were really tortured, badly off. And they used strings for tying their testicles to certify either it is true or it is not true for the true allegation, for non-allegated things. It was alleged that he had a gun, and for really he didn't have a gun. There was no proof to show that he had a gun, but he was forced, and out of those tortures, the guy passed away.
Against the injustice that occurred in Kamutulunyo, where Domongoria was tortured and succumbed to death.
According to residents, Paul Longole was tortured to death. To their surprise, the army came and buried him without family members. Residents say Longole had never committed any crime.
No one was accepted to come here. Only the soldiers plus their commander are the ones who brought that person up to here. They used to force. No one was allowed even to cross the road like this.
By the army themselves. Not even a hint of a leg was dipped back and was just thrown like that with soil.
The 3rd Division spokesperson Major Isaac Owari said they have arrested some soldiers and UPDF does not condone torture and unlawful arrests.
And they are in our custody, but also along with other civilians that will aid in investigations. Not accept any act of torture, any form of torture in this ongoing operation. We condemn the acts of torture with totality.
Owari adds that joint investigations are ongoing.
Our joint intelligence and the crime team are jointly investigating the alleged incidents which happened on the 7th of this month in Nampaka district. As we stand now, there is no element of torture.
Napak District Chairperson John Paul Codet and the District Police Commander Kennedy Akena urged people to be calm and called for cooperation between the community and security.
Because they can provide you information. So work mostly with the LOC ones and the
As the country goes into the production phase of oil and gas that was discovered on the shores of Lake Albert in Bunyoro sub-region, Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom and development partners have launched the planting of trees along roads in the region.
Speaking during the launch at Mparo-Hoima West City Division, the Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom Communications Officer Francis Mugera said the move is aimed at reducing deforestation, which is affecting the general welfare of the people.
As Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, we welcome such efforts that complement all efforts aimed at conserving the environment.
Partnership focused at regreening the major highways in Bunyoro, and UNRWA has offered us to start with the Kigumba Kienjojo Road. Ultimately, we'll be targeting a distance of over 200 kilometers along this road. And
Philip Kihumuro from Bunyoro think tank said they intend to plant indigenous trees because many of them are medicinal.
Started off the launch with mainly Prunus africana, which is very good for prostate cancer, by the way. We are also starting off with mahoganies and indigenous trees. We're also having a mixture of some other soil and water conservation species, that is Brevelia, which is very good for firewood.
The Bunyoro think tank communications officer Pascal Kwesiga expressed the need to engage locals in this activity to take care of the trees, unlike in the past where they planted for the sake of planting.
Tree planters have always been having is that sometimes they plant, but these trees cannot be looked after properly, or because the communities are not engaged sometimes. So we wanted to come in as a bridge organization, the Bunyoro Think Tank, to help Uganda National Roads Authority to mobilize the people.
The locals here vowed to look after the planted trees because of their importance in community.
Kigumba gihikia yifuna mbali mzize kanga kunira kijja kwongeramu kuleta environment nyongina hangu ibara kandi tujja kumekinga subanti tesere emiti tugifensinge kulungi nikatasubira kulibwente nikweso.
About my waka, now come and see for yourself. See my waka that I got with Momo NYABO. Jangola we waka, look at you waka. See my waka that I got with Momo NYABO.
Show them waka with MTN Momo NYABO. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Mirinda.
Grab yourself an ice-cold bottle of Mirinda Orange at any shop or supermarket near you. Mirinda Orange, the taste that makes you go ORNG.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Football packages, great entertainment,
sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where our stories live.
Get
the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Welcome back from the break. It's UBC News Tonight. The Link Bus Company is asking government to lift the ban on their operations, as the ban has greatly affected the travelers and the company as well. Government suspended the Link Bus operations last week for 14 days after a Link Bus registration number UBA003S was involved in an accident along Fort Portal Kenjojo Road as it moved to Kampala from Bundibujo. The accident claimed over 20 lives and left many injured.
Link Bus Company management has embarked on training its staff on road traffic and safety to eliminate mishaps ahead of its resuming of operations.
For as long as I think this suspension is on, we'll keep preparing our staff. We'll not.
This comes after a fatal accident occurred last week in Fort Portal, which left over 20 people dead and many in a terrible state.
So we've had to also do some customer caring training, so that when we get back onto the road, customers get even a much better service, yeah?
Tom says that their buses have also been taken for further inspection by the police IOVs after an internal exercise.
We've been having, all over here, we've been having buses, but as you can see, we only have, I think there are two. Why? Because we are, even in our garage, we're doing that inspection, but then also the IOV is inspecting our buses to be sure. So we are very sure by the time we hit back the road, we'll be on point.
Government banned Link Bus services operations for 14 days in different regions.
State Minister for Trade and Cooperatives Harriet Ntabazi has encouraged the public to start up businesses in their communities. She was speaking at the closure of Bubu Expo at Kolo Airstrip, where exhibitors were hailed for supporting government meat market requirements.
Government is committed to link local manufacturers to appropriate markets locally and internationally. State Minister for Trade Harriet Ntabazi says government bodies like URA and URSB will guide local manufacturers to let their businesses fit on the market.
As we are, that we have as Minister of Trade is that mostly the traders were complaining about getting the Q mark, which is cultural products, for 2 years.
Uganda Build Uganda was to help Ugandans learn to package and add value to their commodities to suit international markets. Meanwhile, exhibitors decried high taxes posed on products during clearing.
We have the parish model that has come up, but when you go down there, are they registered? URSB, how are you working with the parish model? URSB, please, how are you working with the parish model? Are you sure that all those, I want to thank Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, especially cooperatives, they've registered the circles.
So on this Bubu Expo, we brought our SMEs that we are working with.
MTN Uganda has unveiled the 4th edition of Mama NYABO campaign for clients through engaging in a draw. At least 2.5 billion shillings will be injected in an 8-week promotion.
With over 16 million customers on the network, 12 million activated on mobile money, MTN Uganda has launched the 4th edition of Momo NYABO campaign for more people to embrace e-commerce.
Uganda! Ready or not?
In the campaign to run for 8 weeks, 2.5 billion shillings has been set aside and 24 Toyota Succeed vehicles to reward customers.
Yeah, and then 5,000 agents earning 500 million in 8 weeks. The customers have a potential to earn 1.6 billion.
The company Riverage follows the success of previous campaigns to promote financial inclusion.
We believe that customers who win
actually put the prizes in good use and they get good value.
More than 16,000 winners will be rewarded weekly in this countrywide campaign on the condition of depositing 20,000 shillings. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Affordable packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where the stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Jennifer, Jukila, Lewagamba, I don't have waka. You bust the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo NYABO. Jangola we waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo NYABO.
Show them waka with MTN Momo NYABO. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
The French ambassador to Uganda has officially launched the Solidarity Fund for innovative projects in Uganda.
France is to host the 2024 Summer Olympic Games that have added skateboarding and breakdance on the competition roster. To ensure ample preparation for these new Olympic sports, the French government, through its Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs, has launched the Solidarity Fund for innovative projects.
It will be an honor, a great pleasure to continue working together with the Ugandan Federation of Rugby, but beyond the rugby, also to focus on other disciplines. It's why I'm very glad to see you again today, to focus on other disciplines that could allow your country, Uganda, to win medals.
The project for Uganda aims at, among others, improving the economic and cultural integration of urban youth into society through sport. It also targets gender equality, participation of minority groups like refugees, and professionalization of young sports people.
I told him the last time we met here, your talent is there, but it's also a duty to be in a kind of transmission. Yes. To prepare the young generation. I'm not saying that you are old. But to prepare the transmission to the young generation. I know that is what you are doing here, and the French embassy, the French government, we want to salute your great job, and you can rely on us. We'll continue helping you to stay between the best and to prepare the young generation to become the best.
It has got the backing of Uganda Olympic Committee, whose president, Donald Rukare, witnessed the project's birth.
I've looked through the objectives of some of the activities you intend to do, a number of competitions, training coaches and certification is very welcome. What I would probably strongly advise is that it's important, Lucille, that we have a conversation to ensure that whatever is being done here is aligned very strongly to the Olympic Committee, but also, more importantly, to the international federations. Because if our program here is not aligned, for example, to the qualification system of the Olympics, then we'll have a bit of a problem.
To Uganda Skateboard Union and Uganda Dance Sport Federation, this project, from which they share 100,000 euros, is monumental.
It's a good call, and we are going also to partner and cooperate to see that we have athletes from Uganda, break dancers, B-boys and B-girls who go and participate in the battles in France, and to bring that atmosphere to understand the Rio journey to Paris 2024.
The French government has over the years been a great sporting partner with Uganda, and ahead of the 2024 Olympics, this project is one of many to follow. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Action in the Pepsi University Football League has continued, with Nkumba University edging out the University of Kisubi. The hosts, University of Kisubi, were undone by Biko Beige, who scored in the 10th minutes in a highly interesting game that kept many on tenterhooks. The victory maintains Nkumba University in the lead.
Back again to football. Back again to football. I was back inside. University. It's intercepted. Latin Manu. La Koditimo Mapetuero Chuagone Kaitigi, Mamani Chokeri, Petuero Ajadini Man, you.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you, or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hey, it's time to play. Let's go! Be glad you came. Because we love to share. Let's have some fun. What should we try next? Everyone. Because we love to learn together. Making you friends forever. Sesame Street friends.
Yes, just some simple correction before we wind up. Nkumba University in the University League is in the second position on 6 points in Group B, that is topped by Makerere University Business School. The University of Kisubi remains third, while Kum University, which lost to Makerere University over the weekend, is rock bottom. Action continues on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, with the International University of East Africa hosting Victoria University in a Group A game in Kansanga. We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomo, wishing you the best of the week and the best of the night. Bye-bye.
Rearing rabbits is among the important agriculture practices in the country due to its benefits, though any farmer will tell you that it's a risky business. However, starting a rabbit farming business does not require a lot of capital like any other business does. Rather, it requires the entrepreneur to have knowledge about animal husbandry and how best to raise them. Today, with Isa Ruingare Chivinge, a farmer and a professional veterinary doctor, recites to us that rabbits as an investment in our localities are easy to rear compared to other animals. The fact that the rate of production is high as they quickly multiply.
You should have an interest in what you are going to do. 2, the space where you're going to start such a project. But before starting,
we also have enough air.
It is intellectually engaging.
And you can only become a leader when there are problems.
I like that.
The same applies to Rwanda, Burundi. So what are we federating?
Whether rats from another country can be, somebody must be there to hold everybody accountable.
But at the moment, we would rather deal with what we have, make it right.
First of all, we as elites of Uganda, we have made Museveni the issue. I can tell him Museveni is not the problem of Uganda. The problems of Uganda are much deeper. We can change the next 20 presidents and we'll still be this roundabout.
Deeply incisive.
The different political forces that we have in the country, in the country, we don't seem to really have achieved that minimum political consensus over certain things.
Authentically symbolic and insightful. Behind the headlines every Wednesday at 10 p.m. with Charles